everybody, and thank you for stopping by Living To Do's review of Married at First Sight, Season 14, Episode 15, called Past Lives and Open Minds. Before I get started with the review, please like, share the video, and subscribe to my channel. And also, you can find me on Fanbase, the new monetized app that is out. You can find me on Fanbase under the same name, Living To Do. So let's get started. I really liked this episode. It was the kind of episode that we come to this show to watch. It wasn't really any silliness, which was good. It was a nice change. So let's get started with Katina and Olajuwon. Not much went on here. This episode, we're going to go to, the couples will go to each other's home or something in their childhood that reminded them of their childhood. And they will also write letters to themselves, like they do in every episode, their younger selves. And in this episode, Dr. Pepper pays the couples a visit as well. And the first couple we'll talk about will be Katina and Olajuwon. And Olajuwon takes Katina to his old home, which was the projects, I guess, in Boston. He was raised in the Boston projects, and kind of a hard life. So he paints that kind of picture. Katina, she takes Olajuwon to church. She was raised in the church, and she enjoyed the church. She feels a connection to her religion. And Olajuwon, I don't know, he just wanted to involve himself in her story. He also told how his father took him to church every Sunday. And I just didn't believe him when he was telling that story. It sounded made up. He was talking about after the session was over. You mean the service? It's like, that made me think, did you really go here? I guess his father and mother, they didn't live together, and the father would come and pick up his kids. He had a few of them. It sounded like maybe like 5 of them with his mother, and took him to church. I just didn't believe him when he said that. But they did discuss both their mothers are both breast cancer survivors. So that's great. They have that in common. Their Dr. Pepper visit, I think we show that Olajuwon needs more work. He was giving a story about how he told Katina to shut up, and he came back right away and apologized. This seems like you should know better. I don't know. You should know better. And she has a worry that moving forward, if they stay together, he's going to need a lot more attention, and she just doesn't know if she can give it, and she finds him and his need of so much attention draining. I can see that. I feel like she's holding back. When he was talking about her, it just seems like there's something she wanted to say, and she was just being cordial and playing along to get along. Some of her expressions, I just know she had more on her mind. I think she wanted maybe to defend herself a little bit more, and she just didn't. That's just the feeling that I got. And in the confessional, Olajuwon said that he thinks that Katina should do what's best for Katina, which she should pour into herself and bear down and graduate from school and not go on with the marriage. He thinks that's what she should do because that's in her best interest. And he, being a good friend, should also tell a friend what's in their best interest. And I'm thinking, no, I think you want an out. There's no pull to keep her. There's no workaround. It's just, you should leave. You should say no because you got so much on your plate that you don't have time for me. So you should say no. What? She knows what she had on her plate when she entered this. I don't really think she needs you to decide that for her. I just think you are looking for an out of the relationship, and you don't want to be the bad guy to tell her how you truly feel about her. Okay, so the next couple we'll talk about is Noy and Steve. They first go back to Steve's home, his parents' home, where he was raised, and his parents still live there. And during the visit, most of the visit anyway, to me, Noy seemed unamused. Um, she just kind of looked around like she didn't really want to be there, that she had an obligation. And later, Steve, he shares that he made a song that played on the radio in his neighborhood, and that people in cars would he could hear, they would be playing that song blasting out of their radio. It was pretty popular in his town, and he played it for Noy, and Noy seemed to open up, come alive a little bit more. She enjoyed the song. She thought the song was the type of song that would have been played on the radio today. Steve's mother was there, and she knew the song. I think she's proud of her song. She was singing along to the song. It's called Get Down. Um, Steve's impressive. He is very creative. Um, Looking back, Noe reflected that on her visit and thought that Steve had a great childhood. I thought so too. Um, he he was known as a dancer. He just seemed to have a normal all American childhood, and it's just nice to see hear about a kid who doesn't have any stress, anything that triggers him, any PTSD, just to be raised, come up uh, normally, and thrive and be just a great citizen. This is what we aspire our kids to be, and I like the way Steve turned out. Uh, Noi took Steve to a dance studio, um, because she's not from Boston for one, and this is something that she liked to do, dance. I guess she does that in her TikTok videos or social media stuff. She's dancing around. Steve caught her in the mirror with pretending to be singing, and Noi, um, she that's her outlet because she wasn't allowed to express her emotions. She expressed it in dance, so she really liked to dance. And Steve was a good dancer. He tried hard, and he really did a good job. Um, Another creative outlet for him. Uh, it was just he's just a good sport, an all around good guy. Um, Noy talked about, I guess, her letter to herself, and it was touching. And afterwards, she said she didn't want to be a burden to her parents. Her mother worked really hard in I think, a chicken factory, and she'd come home with blood, chicken blood, I guess, on her and her face, and it would scare Noy, and she would cry herself to sleep. She never wanted to. She didn't. She believed she was the reason her mother had to work like that. So. They learn to keep their um, feelings, their emotions within, and she was only able to express that in dance. But you see the need for security. She feels the need to know how her life's going to be, because as a child, which was traumatic for her, I understand that. Uh, Even though she's an adult now, she knows things can get bad because she lived it, and they're better now, but it can happen because it happened to her, and she doesn't want to go back to that place again. I think Steve had a better understanding of why Noy wanted, uh, needs to know about him working and what he can do for work, that he will be able to provide, because she never wants to go back to that, really dark, destitute place. And who can blame her? I don't blame her one bit. I think I'd feel the same way. Um, Dr. Pepper came and visit them, and um, the whole time I was just thinking how Steve creates a soft place for Noy to land. I think she's lucky. I don't know if she sees that now. If she Does she have to be out of the relationship to see what a good relationship she has, what a good man he is. I mean, he's a treasure. Uh, really one of the good ones. Um, but one thing that Noy wanted is she still is exploring the idea of living separately from her husband. You could see on Steve's face that's not what he wanted. And Dr. Pepper opened up. She didn't want to be a hypocrite. We find out that Dr. Pepper lives separately from her husband. It is her second marriage. They've been married 16 years. Her first marriage was 23 years. But she didn't go into detail why they live separately. She just let us know, or we only were shown, that she does in fact live separately from her husband. Interesting. Interesting. I wonder if we'll hear more about that at decision day or the reunion or something. Okay. Let's see. The next couple we'll talk about is Lindsay and Mark. Lindsay's having a problem with Mark saying that she's too much. Hearing that makes and hearing that and thinking that Mark wants less of her, she thinks that makes she needs to lessen herself as a woman to satisfy him, and that's not what she's interested in. I think she just missed the whole idea of too much. She's just she is all over the place. Her energy is on over 10, and everybody else is operating at a normal level. She puts on too much. She talks too much. She's in your face too much. She's just bossy too much. That's the too much. We're not asking you to be less of a woman. He's trying to let you know that you just need to calm down and relax a little bit. Not less of a woman. She believes when Dr. Pepper visited that that Mark dismisses her. How does he dismiss her? I just don't see that. Um, she was she revealed that she doesn't know if Mark is the right guy for her. And I think she has that backwards. We just don't think, and I don't, and I think Mark thinks that she is not, may not be in the right woman for him. Um, she has this issue. One of the examples that she gave is that he won't try new foods. Oh, that gets under my skin. Who cares what another person eats? You don't taste what that's their business. Your taste buds are different. Why would it bother you so bad what another person puts in their mouth? I hate people when they do that. Mind your business. Get on my nerves with that. Um, and Mark, they were talking, and Mark just said, I think this was after Dr. Pepper left, that he knows how to touch her heart, and he just is giving examples of different things and telling her what he knew she needed. Oh my God, it was so touching. I loved it. Oh my God. Oh my God, Mark. Several points for that. That's exactly what you should say. Mark has done some work somewhere because that was just perfect. Sadly, though, Mark has his cat JC got sick, and they had him put him down in the episode. And Lindsay was there. She was sweet um, to Mark when he was going through this tough time with the first cat he ever had, and the cat had been with him for so many years. Though I have to say, Lindsay again was a little too much. Though she was there, she was very comforting. Um, but when the cat was kind of crawling a little bit on Mark, she's readjusting the cat for Mark, and was just like, I think you can pull back just a little. And you know how she kidded about wanting less cats because they would have 5 cats and some cats had to die. I remember that on their wedding day when they discovered they both were cat lovers. It's just her little morbid selfie that she took. I was like, death day, pick. I was just like, oh, I don't know if that's something. It just because she was smiling in the picture. I think that was a little. I was a little turned off by that. But other than that, they Lindsay took Mark to a place that reminded her of her childhood. It was just the woods, which is nice in nature, but kind of sad at the same time. The woods were behind Lindsay's house. I don't know why we couldn't go to her house, but I think she was in Boston, but she was in the woods. That's where she would go um, and pretend and create because the home life wasn't that great. Her dad wasn't home much, and her mother did a lot. She was the home mother, but I think the mother resented being a stay-at-home mother. Maybe she wanted to work or live or something, and the father was always out working. Um, and I don't know, Lindsay just felt kind of disconnected from her mom, and that was kind of like her safe place to go to in the woods. Um, she just wanted to stay busy. Mark's home was visit was bittersweet. Um, he had a lot of fond memories. Memories. They showed a lot of pictures of Mark when he was little kid. He was cute, and they were talking, and he was thinking, how him and Lindsay could live in this childhood home of his. And Lindsay's like, no, Lindsay doesn't want to live there. I wouldn't want to live there either. I don't want to create my own memories. It's sweet that you had a great childhood and a great home, but I wouldn't want to step into somebody else's home and build my life. There's just too much there. That would just be me. I would feel the need to have my own something new, a fresh start. And I definitely agreed with Lindsay in that case. So the last couple we'll talk about, Jasmina and Michael. They went to Jasmina's home. It was a little modest home. They went to a park um, where she grew up, and I think it was a school though, where she had her favorite teacher, um, Mrs. Pataski, I think her name. And at first, Michael wasn't getting the name, and she was calling her Miss Tacky or Miss Pataki. And Jasmina jumped on that real quick. She corrected him. That is not her name. She corrected him. It's like, you put some respect on her name. This woman was very instrumental in Jasmina's life. She made Jasmina want to be a school teacher too. And she shared her letter to herself, which was very touching, about her first stepmother. She had two stepmothers. Her mother left. Her first stepmother didn't love her, didn't hug her. She cried. She was bullied in school. And I felt sorry for her, that maybe that's why she has that hard exterior wall up. Um, and Michael cried too, hearing her letter. And they both hugged each other. It was such a very sensitive, um, sweet moment that they shared. And she opened up, let her walls down, and she was very vulnerable. And she just felt comfortable looking at her. She just felt comfortable being held by him. Michael took us to his high school year, his home that he had in his high school years when he was like 14 through 18. He had happy times there. They went to his childhood park, talked about some memories he had with his brother there, and he read a beautiful letter to himself. It just sounded like a man who had done some work on himself. It was just really beautiful. It's just an open up letter, I thought. I didn't think it was really sad, but just real and beautiful. When Dr. Pepper paid them a visit, um, she they talked about their kind of intimacy, that there was no kissing and no touching, but the whole time, Jasmina, she looks different. She looks lovingly at Michael. I think she could be falling for him. They seem close. I was thinking she wanted to hold hands. He did hold hands um, in bed with her when she was sleeping, I guess, and she said she noted that. She noticed that he did that, and he's trying to get closer to you. I think I don't know. I think maybe she playing herself. There's maybe more walls that need to be let down. It's okay, Jasmina, because you look like you want to be closer to him. You look like you lean into him. You look like you have loving eyes when you look at him. More so when you look at him than when he looks at you. But she says she has no urge to kiss him or grab him and kiss him. I and he I heard him on the after party that the reason why he doesn't make the move because she kind of set the tone, the boundaries, and he's letting her steer a person who can't drive. He needs to take the wheel maybe and show her maybe that she might like them together. Maybe plan a kiss on her. I think he should do that. Um, but that was it for now. I really have hope for Jasmina and Michael. I had hope when they first got married, and then we just sunk down to a sunken place. And in this episode and the last episode, they just seemed sweet, like it could be a sweet love story. I don't know, Jasmina. Put more than your toe in. It's okay. That's all for now. I enjoyed this episode. I thank you all for stopping by. I'll be back for next week, episode 16. It will be the last episode before Decision Day. We're finally closing this out. Oh, we're getting to the end, and I'm glad. But thank you for stopping by. I gotta go because I got living to do. Thank you. Bye.